Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, Sastikar, namaskar to all the listeners. This is Attorney Shah Pirali for the Shah Pirali Law Show. And today I have with me Michael on the board, and we are going to talk, of course, about immigration. So many things happening that I don't know where to start, really. But let us start with, before I start, of course, is anything I'm telling you is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. And just to remind people, whenever I do those shows, it's a social kind of service to help the community. And oftentimes, in the 3 minutes, I cannot really give you, what I give you is information, not really an advice. I can guide you as much as possible. So sometimes, I'm not able to give you a full, complete picture of the situation, but I try my best. So bear with me a little bit, and if you have any questions, you can call my office, 510-742-5887. The website to check is attorneyonair.com, attorneyonair.com. So we are going to open the lines in a few minutes. The line to the studio today is 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. And we are going to talk, of course, about immigration. But first, the H4 EAD. This is the one that everybody is wondering what is going to happen next. But it seems like there was something published by the Bloomberg Law basically stating that the DHS now is preparing itself to put the administration's comments on the OMB and then have it for public comments. What we are expecting, my timeline is probably by the end of June we will have things moving, and it will give 60 days for public to comment. So feel free to comment there. It will be, I will post it on my, hopefully on the link on my YouTube channel and also on the Facebook page. But this is where after that there will be, after the comments, then they will make a decision. But we know full well whether the comments go on the side of the H4 visa holders or not. Ultimately, there is a push by the Trump administration to take it away. And we are seeing that in pretty much everything that the Obama administration has said. They are kind of taking it away. And of course, there are people who are happy, some are not happy, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to suffer. I myself know dozens of my clients who have opened businesses and employ a lot of U.S. citizens, actually, and even green card holders and other employees. And now shutting this down will create a lot of issues. So what will happen next, we will know. Hopefully there will be a bunch of lawsuits hitting hard that will block that law from going away. But let's see how things are going to unfold. But unfortunately, as you know, the H4 EAD was passed under some kind, not completely an executive action, although it was executively built. So they had to go through the process of reversing it to the OMB, etc., the regulatory body. And what they did, now we have the final public comments coming up in the next probably weeks. Probably end of June it will start, and then from there 60 days it will be published. So we have approximately 90 days to know really what is going to happen on the H4 EAD. But going back now to what do you do next, many people unfortunately are relying on that EAD. So there are not many options for those who want to go back to school and continue on the F1. Maybe you should move on F1. But remember now, F1 has an issue if you're doing change of status. So make sure you're maintaining the status on H4 while you're moving to H1, etc. And if you have the ability to move to H1, please feel free to do so. For other people who can move on TN, etc., etc. So you need to start looking for alternatives. Having said that, now my opinion is even if they take it away, which I think they will, well, as I said, hopefully they won't be able to, but I think they will try their best to take it away. For those who already have it, we are hoping that they will be able to keep it up to the date which is on their EAD. Now, after that, we don't know if probably there will be no renewal. And again, Michael is asking me to give the studio number 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. You can call and talk to me live. And also, if you have any questions on immigration, it doesn't have to be H4 questions. It can be anything on an immigration, H1B, I-140, you name it, parents' petitions, family petitions, marriage petitions, asylum, you name it. I'll be glad to answer if I can. And again, the number to the studio is 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. So I think I gave it a couple of times now, Michael. So let us see. I know people will start calling in a few, but right now I just wanted to cover the topic of the H4 because a lot of people now are really kind of worried what to do next. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't leave a lot of options. The other thing that they took away also is the entrepreneur rule. That entrepreneur rule, what it was going to do actually didn't have much time to really kick in. It would have given a parole for people to set up a business, get investors and VCs, etc., until they ultimately could get their own national interest waiver or EB1, etc. But unfortunately, this is gone too. So that's going to cut off a lot of options for people who have good ideas, who are bringing innovation to the country, especially the Silicon Valley, I think, is going to suffer on that. Although I don't know many people who have used that. But bottom line, we are seeing a lot of reverse of good things that happened under Obama. People didn't really realize it until they start taking them away. So let me take one caller, Michael. This is Shabra. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Shah. This is Rakesh here.
Hi, Rakesh.
Hey, hi. Thanks for all your program and service to the community. It's really good. I have a quick question on the I-140.
Yes.
I have like a H1 and I have like a I-140 approved. But consider a scenario if I go back to India, okay, even though I have like I-140 approved, and if I stay there for a year and in between my H1 got expired, will my I-140 be still valid when my H1 is expired?
That's a very good question.
When I come back, can I continue with the same priority and the I-140 can be like, it will be same or again I have to start from the zero? That's a question.
Okay. That's a very good question. First of all, the
I'll take the answer. Sorry?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'll give you the answer. It's a very, very good question, actually, because this is a very confusing topic. First of all, the I-140 is very independent of the H-1B. You can have an I-140 even without an H-1B. So that means the I-140 doesn't go away unless the company revokes the I-140, withdraw the I-140, or the company, let me repeat that, I think, because you were cut. So basically, I have to repeat that. The I-140 doesn't go away just because the H-1B, you leave the country. However, the company, in the first 6 months of the I-140, they have a right to withdraw it. After that, the I-140 stays. However, even if they withdraw it, the priority date stays, okay? Most of the cases we have seen the priority stays, except there was one exception, which is not really a valid one. So that's the situation. So the trick is, if you want to come back to the same company with the same I-140, you can use it. If not, then you have to have the other company file for you, borrow that priority date, and then you can use a new I-140. But the I-140 doesn't go away automatically like that unless it's withdrawn and within the 6 months, or the company, or there's some kind of fraud where the USCIS revokes it. That's a different issue. But to answer your question, it doesn't go away that easy, although it might be a problem if you leave the company when you come back if they still have a job offer for you. Okay, I hope that answers the questions. And if I think I have one more caller, right, Michael? This is Shapra, you're live on air. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Yes,
sir, you're live on air. Go ahead, this is Shah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Pirali.
Hello.
Yeah, I have three simple questions on the naturalization form N400.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it says that can I fill it in and go out of the country for a few weeks?
Yes and no. Yes, because you can, but the problem is that they will call you for a fingerprint, and if you postpone that fingerprint, if the fingerprint is issued while you're not here, what happens is then the case gets delayed for a long time. But in short, yes, you can travel as long as you don't travel for more than 90 days. Although you can.
Yeah, it will be about 66 weeks,
yeah.
You know.
I would recommend having your fingerprint first and then you travel.
Okay? I see. Yeah. The second question is that they say all the questions have to be answered, and you put not applicable where it is not applicable.
Yes.
So do you have to do that in every entry on those questions?
Well, where it is applicable, of course. For example, if you're putting address, it asks you for 5 years of address. It gives you a space for like five range, and you have only one address. You just put one. That's it, and then you don't have to put. But yes, bottom line, anything that is not applicable, it's either yes or no, or not applicable, or you have to give an explanation. Yes, you have to answer everything. Yes.
Actually, so if it is not applicable, you put not applicable wherever there is a space to
not
write.
Applicable or none, depending on the question.
Yeah. And the third question is, they are asking, when was your entry to U.S. was approved? Is it the date on your entry visa?
Yes. Depends what the question. I don't have it at the top of my head, and I don't have the form in front of me. But usually, yes, there one when is your green card starting? That's one date, and there's another one when you entered United States. For example, let's say you entered in an H-1B visa. The first H-1B, you need to put that one, the I-94 there.
No, I just entered on the immigrant visa.
Oh, you entered directly on immigrant visas, and you just put that date.
Date you entered the U.S. or the date that immigrant visa was approved?
It asks the question when it was approved, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you have to put the date when it was approved. Entering is a different question, okay? All right.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Good luck to you. Wish you all the best. It's good to become right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a lot of calls, but the number to the studio, 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170, and I have Michael on the board with me. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for being here and making it easy. I don't know if I have more callers. This is Shapra. You alive in here? Hello? Okay. So feel free to call. I was talking a little bit about this bad news kind of coming up possibly for H4 EAD. I'm hoping, and it seems like a lot of people are pushing not to have it reversed, and I'm praying for that too. And I heard that there's like 160 Congress people, and even the government of India pushing to not let it go. But the question is that how much power, how much influence will they have to make this happen? Because it seems like they already kind of made up their mind. But at the end of the day, we'll have to see the public comments and all the stuff. It will be something which is going to heat up really in the next 60 to 90 days, so watch out for that. I will try my best to post the updates. We have a page on Facebook called facebook.com H4 EAD. Click like on that, and I try to push the updates there too, so as much as I can. We also have a kind of a blog for H4 EADs called www.h42ead.com, h42ead.com. So, having said that, now what are the options? That's going to be a case-by-case situation. And again, we have to look into the possibility. Some people are jumping with student visa, etc. So you need to be careful when you do that, because there are many issues now attached to those two. Let me take another caller, Michael. This is Shaprali. You're live on air.
Oh, hi. Good morning. How are you, Mr. Pirali?
Good morning. I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
A long time listener, first time caller. I was wondering if you could explain how the visa process works if someone wants to invest $500,000 or $1 billion and try to become an immigrant.
Yeah, that's the catch one. How do you call it? The one that I don't really like, but I'll tell you about it. There is that EB5 program. It's called EB5. You can invest $500,000 or $1 million, depending, and you can have your own project, or you can have those setup projects. And the setup project, they have already a pre-approval with the government, So you just plug in your money. What they will give you is what we call a conditional green card. And the money has to be traced, how you got it, etc., etc. It has to be your own money, and it cannot be loaned from the United States, etc. Now, the biggest problem we have with this EB-5 program, I don't trust it personally. Many people I've seen lost everything on it because they give you a conditional green card, and the conditional green card basically watches if the business is compliant with everything. And unfortunately, I don't want to give a percentage, but many times you will have people who basically are not able to comply with it, the project itself, and you end up by losing both the green card and the money because you don't get the permanent then. You cannot remove it. That's one of the reasons I don't even encourage my clients to do it unless they have a very good project they can find by themselves. I don't even recommend projects. So I let them do their own research because of exactly that. So it is an option right there. Many people are taking it, but it's not an option that I recommend people to take unless they have no choice or things like that. But make sure if you're taking the choice of the EB-5, especially if you're going with a government project that has already been set, do your homework, do a lot of background check. It has to be very extensive. So make sure you do that before you move on an EB-5. Okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Good luck to you. And by the way, there are options like, for example, people are better off doing an L1A if they qualify and then do an EB1C rather than EB5. Sometimes people don't know. They might have a business running abroad and they want to open a branch here. We can do an L1A and ultimately push you on an EB1C, which is the green card. Let me take another caller, Michael. I think it's Ravi. Hi, Ravi. This is Shah. You're live on air.
Sure. Good morning. This is Ravi here.
Good morning.
I have a question regarding my wife's I-94. In the original petition, she has the end date of till next year, 2019. In between, she went to India and came back. While coming back, because of her passport expiry, she got 12th June as the I-94 expiry. So is the one which she got it valid, or the one which she has in the original petition is valid?
Well, that's an excellent question actually, because you can get in trouble. This is the last one is what counts. So the last one is what when she came back, they give her. So you need to quickly file an extension for her, or if she still have a stamp on her passport and her I-94 is still valid, she can just leave and come back. And does she have a new passport now? Hello?
Okay, hello? Yeah, I think your voice is very feeble. I can't.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Not really.
Oh, Michael, I don't know what's the issue, but I'll give you the answer off air if you want.
Yeah, I'll hang out. Can you give me an answer in the radio? I can listen.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Okay, so I'll give Ravi 1 minute, but basically his question was, she had an I-94 valid on her 797. However, when she came back at the airport because her passport is expiring, they gave her an I-94 at the airport, which is lower than the one which is on the 797. And now the question is, which one counts? Well, very simple. The last one counts. So in this case, since she came back after and after she got the first approval, it's the last one. That means the one at the airport that counts, the one that you see online. And since it's expiring on June 12th, I recommend that you quickly file an extension or leave the country and come back with a new passport. They will give a new I-94 at the airport. But you need to get things moving before the June 12th because otherwise it will get things a little bit more complicated. So that's my answer. And there are ways to deal with that before. We used to be able to go to the CBP office and ask them to extend it based on the new passport. And sometimes they will do it, but now recently I have not seen them do that for anybody. So the best is just to file a new extension on the I-94 and then or leave the country and come back, and that will give you a new I-94 provided she has a new passport. So I hope this answered the question. And Michael, I don't know if I have more callers, but I know we're still having those technical difficulties. Hopefully it will be fixed soon, but please speak a little bit loud. I can hear you. So for those who want to call, the lines are still open, 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170. And this is Attorney Chaparral. I'm answering your questions live. And if you have, of course, you want a private consultation, the number to our office, 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887. And also you need to check the website. It's attorneyonair.com, attorneyonair.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have so many things happening, unfortunately. So far, I didn't see any good things, except I think they increased the H2B program, but I don't really handle H2B, so I don't want to go into that too much. So there are many, many things happening. And the other thing that is kind of sad is the situation happening of the separation of parents at the border. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Let me take another caller. I think Kulvinder is online. Hi, Kulvinder. Are you there? Hello? 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 Can I speak to Kulvinder? Hi, Kulvinder.
Hi, yes. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call. My question is for a kid. He's 11-year-old and he's U.S. citizen. So I want to find out, can they travel out of the country and come back on their own, or do they need adults with them? Do you know?
Well, no, you can. Usually, you can travel provided you have all the. They have all the documents, and the airline is actually doing basically taking care of the kids. But make sure that you have a document signed with the kids that they can leave from both parents, and notarized documents that you allow the kids to travel, so that when they reach there's someone to pick them up, etc. But usually they're allowed to travel. This is not really an issue from the U.S. It's usually an issue on the other side. So I don't know if India allows it, but most countries do allow it if they are accompanied by the airline, and then they get picked up at the airport, etc. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Sorry, I think there's some disturbance, but thank you. Thanks for your answer. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about kids, since it's kind of really kind of joining with the topic we're going to talk about. As you know, we have this sad situation where a lot of kids have been separated from their parents at the border. Some even, it's really horrible. It's heartbreaking, and some of them even got lost in the hands of the CBP. So hopefully people will realize this is a wrong move, and that will stop. So we are calling on other people to support the fact that parents should not be separated at the border from their kids. It's too heartbreaking. It's very hard even to talk about it. Let me take another caller, and we'll talk a little bit more about others. This is Chaparral. You're live on air.
Hey, Shaf. This is Ravi again. This is in continuation of the previous question on I-94. In case if I do my H1 transfer and along with that H4 transfer, will she needs to leave on June 12th, or is it okay the new H1 transfer counts? H1 and H4 counts.
If you do a transfer and move the H4, as long as it is done before June 12th for your wife, you're fine. But if it is filed after June 12th, it doesn't reach USCIS before June 12 midnight, then she will have to leave the country and come back. So make sure if you're not doing the transfer to quickly file an extension form. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
So let me take another call. Shabra, you're live on air.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hello, Mr. Attorney, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you properly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so my question, I'm Lena here, and my question is about the H4 EAD. I have a valid H4 EAD until April 2019, so even if they revoke it now, will they allow us to work until the date that's on the card? So I can take the answer offline.
Okay. Thank you very much. much, Lena, for asking that question, by the way, because that's the question I get pretty much on a daily basis now. The truth is that I don't know the exact answer, but my take on it, they will probably allow that. I'm hoping they will allow it, because if you look at the DACA, when they tried to take it out, they were doing the same thing. So my hope is that they will allow people to continue using until the date it's on that EAD. Of course, if the H4 gets canceled, then you reapply, then you have a problem. But hopefully, and again, I might be wrong, don't quote me on that. All I'm saying is, from my take so far, I've been getting it pretty much right when it comes to H4. I think it's they will allow people at least to continue until further notice, and we are hoping it will happen. So we will know in the next 90 days. We should start knowing what's going on. Okay. Good luck to all the H4. So I don't know if you have more callers, Michael, but I was talking a little bit about what's happening at the border, because this is becoming really, really heartbreaking. A lot of people are outraged about it, but the truth is that it seems like it is a deterrent that the government is using to discourage people crossing the border. And I understand that they want to discourage people, but many of those people who are coming, they're not really coming from Mexico. They are coming from further down, excuse me, from further down, which means basically from Guatemala, from Uruguay, from you name it, all of Colombia. And those people are really suffering in their country. U.S. has always been a welcoming place for asylees, and now it's one of the things, they always comes with kids, and I see that all the time, and separating the kids from them is actually even making judges almost cry when they're seeing that. So I hope the government will revise their rule on this, but again, as you know, it's not. It's just it's really, really hard right now. So I wanted to mention that, and our heart goes to all those kids. My heart goes to all those kids that are really suffering being separated from their parents. And, sometimes we don't realize, we think, okay, this is not affecting us, but, it's humanity. If we just ignore it, it will come back and bite us. So hopefully we will change policy on that. So I think we have another caller. Are you alive in here? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very clear. Go ahead.
Yes, sure. Hi, I have a question. So, if for Canadian citizen we file family sponsor immigration, can he get a TN1 visa after that? I will take a question on here.
Hold on. I want to hold on a second. I wanted to get the question. You're a Canadian citizen. Okay, I think he already hung up, but that's fine. I'll do both ways to explain. The TN visa is a non-dual intent. That means technically, well, let me repeat. The TN visa is not a dual intent visa like H1B. So technically, you are not supposed to look for a green card while you have it. Having said that, if you're born outside the United States and you have an EB2, you can jump from the TN after you entered to go on the green card. But this gets a little bit tricky how it's done. It's not something very easy to do. It's not very difficult either. But now, if you have a TN pending and you have, for example, you file a green card, and a green card is going to be pending for years, there's a chance next time you go for the TN, they won't give it to you. What I recommend people to do is before they file, especially if they're born in India, it's to move to H1B or to some other dual intent visa like L visa, H4, H1, etc., then file for their green card. It's very important because otherwise it won't affect the green card, but the green card will affect the TN. So I hope I was able to explain that, because that's a lot of people get trouble understanding how it works. However, if you're not born in India, you might, if you have EB2, you might be able to jump on it, depending how it's done and if it's properly done. So good luck to all those who are trying to move to other visas right now. TN visa is something else that might be under the radar of Trump administration, and this is because he's trying to take NAFTA out, and since the TN is based on NAFTA, we're going to see some really crazy stuff happening, especially if he gets a second mandate. I call it a mandate because if you get the second run, then all the gloves will be off, and we will be expecting some really, really tough things happening on immigration. Already is bad, so expect worse to come until it gets better. So now the question that we have is what I was talking about earlier, of course, is the H4 EAD. Like I said, in the next 90 days, we should start knowing where this is going, because another few days, or I'll say another few weeks, you're going to see the government comments, what they're planning to do, and then it will go to the public comments on the OMB, where people will have a right to say what they think about it. Unfortunately, there are so many people targeting the H4 that I'm sad that a lot of people will be actually encouraging it to go away. So I hope people who agree with us will also put their comments there, and will be and those comments will be in our favor. But that should be we will know once they put it on the system. Now the next things I was talking about is that visa, entrepreneur visa, that barely had a chance to come out. It just came out, I think, a few months ago, and now it's getting taken away. And what happens now, some people had a chance to use a parole for 2 years, and then based on that parole, they could actually set up a business, get venture capitalists, etc., and then they could move on a national interest waiver or an EB1 by their own. But unfortunately now with this taken away, it's one chance also is gone. Although I didn't have any clients doing that, I know few people, not really know, but I think few people have actually applied for that. So let's see how this is going to unfold. And then, of course, one of the things that was really heartbreaking that we wanted to mention is what's happening at the border, and this is getting really, really sad. And I was mentioning that, and I hope people will all stand together against this. But unfortunately, most people are so worried about their own situation that many of them are not really willing to take a stand, unfortunately, because of the fear. And that's something that they were expecting, and it's been done very, very, in a very, very smart way. And unfortunately, there's only so much we can do as lawyers, except ACLU, I know, file a lawsuit, and et cetera. So let's hope those lawsuits and everything will actually pay off. Now, the other thing that we are expecting some really crackdown, while it's already happening, are the H-1Bs. People who had H-1Bs for years, and they are still in the pipeline waiting for the green card. Suddenly they get a denial based on a specialty occupation, and that's another thing that is really kind of going to hurt too, because it's already hurting, and it's going to get hurt more because they're planning to actually amend the specialty occupation, and we don't know really what they're going to put in there, but we have an idea it's going to get tougher and tougher. So basically that's going to be another thing that is going to be a hurdle on top of what we are going through right now. A lot of people are not understanding what's happening to them. By the time they get a denial, they file an appeal, is kind of late. And a lot of people are also opting for EB1, which is a very good option you can get in. At least it's a shorter time. And just to let you know, EB1 is not always for people who have PhDs, etc. We can still do EB1 on some people who have master's degrees and have a lot of knowledge, etc. So even the truth is that EB1 doesn't even require a degree sometimes. However, it's very hard if you want to do it. But there are people who invented things that don't have degrees, or who have been really selected as top in their field without even having high school. But that, I never had a case like that, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the truth is that many people do qualify for EB1, so it's a good idea to give us a call, 510-742-5887, if you want us to evaluate your case on EB1. And we have done many of them recently, and we have gotten a very, very good approval rating. Of course, not everything will be approved, but most of them, after we have two people, me and Sharif, Attorney Sharif and myself, evaluating the case. And if we think there's a good chance, we tell you, then you make your decision if you want to go forward, etc. So EB1 is a good option. The second option for people who are not born in India, for example, you might be Indian citizen, but you are born in Bahrain, you're born in Yemen, you're born in Dubai, you're born in Abu Dhabi, etc. You might be eligible to do what we call you are eligible if you do EB2 or even National Interest Waiver or regular EB2 to use those dates. And if your spouse is born in another country, for example, your spouse is born in one of those any countries outside India or China, you might be eligible to file what we call the cross chargeability way. Basically, I know a few friends of mine for their spouse are from Mauritius, but they're from India, but they get it through to Mauritius because they didn't have the waiting time. I knew also a few people who are born in Bahrain, and which luckily they are able to get their EB2 faster. And then there's of course a National Interest Waiver, which is another option, very, very interesting for people. You should look into that because at least a National Interest Waiver. The reason I'm using EB1A and National Interest Waiver is because both don't require an employer, so you can file it on your own. It is something that you seriously want to consider because otherwise you will just lose a chance. And the good news with the National Interest Waiver, even it's EB2 and I-140, it belongs to you. So even you change company or you go work somewhere else, you still have this one following you anyway. You don't have to restart over. So think about it and look into those options. And it is recommended not to file with your company lawyer because the problem then, they will file it to the company and you will be dependent. So the best is to have your own lawyer on the side to do it. And we do a lot of those. If you need help, 510-742-5887. Now let me shift gear a little bit and tell people, a lot of people are calling me because they're planning to leave for a little bit. They want to go to Canada or go to another country to work until things get better here. And they have debts on their head. For example, they have things like credit card debts, second mortgages, or loans, or they've been sued and they owe money. We can negotiate those for you, not only for people who are leaving, but people who are here too. We can negotiate for you and get you a better deal. So the truth is sometimes you don't even know how things are going to unfold, and you don't want to have a debt on your head when you leave, or it keeps accumulating with interest, penalties, etc., and end up in a lawsuit. We can negotiate those debts, and many people also don't qualify for bankruptcy. So what we do, we avoid the bankruptcy, and you can check a little bit about that on yourdebtsettlementattorney.com, yourdebtsettlementattorney.com, blog especially for that. So I think, hello? Okay, so Michael, I don't know, I think I have like 4 or 5 minutes to go before Amit will join in. So I wanted to kind of recap today what we have talked about. Number one, the big thing is the H4 EAD. Expect in the next 90 days we should start knowing where the H4 EAD is going, because there will be some time in 2-3 weeks you're going to see the potential of basically bringing the case to the public comments on the OMB, and from the OMB, after that 60 days it will probably take to move forward. And also for those who need help with their immigration and H4 EAD or something, give us a call, 510-742-5887, 742-5887, and the H1B, I think Amit is online. Amit, give me 2 more minutes and then you can go ahead. So basically, I want the H1B. Hello?
Hello?
Amit? Yeah, you're on it.
Hey, sir.
Okay, hi Amit. Give me 1
Yeah, sure, no worries. Yeah, that's fine, sorry.
Okay, so basically, we were talking about the H1B and the H4, and for those who don't know really what to do, give us a call. We'll see, because options are being case by case now, and we will assess what are the potential for you, including the EB1, etc. And if you need any help on the immigration side, on anything immigration, feel free to call our office, 510-742-5887. The website to check, attorneyonair.com. And anything I told you today is educational in nature. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any question. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. And Amit, I'll let you continue to explain. I think you have 11 minutes to go. Just go ahead and explain debt settlement in Punjabi, etc. for us. Thank you. Okay?
Great. Thank you, Shah, and hello to all the listeners.